Tonight, the Arizona Phillies in Game 7 of the NLCS. Arizona and Philly had never met in the postseason before this series, and tonight at 7 is the Phillies' first ever Game 7 on TBS. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3, The Game.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
And the score!
You can run different offenses.
The doors on the board.
Off the field, on the field.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Let me talk to you. Talking what's important to Nashville.
Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show.
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
With Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin. Brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
We're here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
All right, and good morning to everybody. Welcome in to the Chase and Big Joe Show live from Pete and Terry's here at Bridgestone Arena. Oh, my goodness, what a last 24 hours it's been from our takedown of Mike Vrabel to Kevin Byard going to Philadelphia. This is Big Joe alongside Junie Riddle, the Riddler, Dr. Crane back in the studio making things happen. Junie, my goodness, we leave the show, and what happened yesterday?
The world starts to crash down. I mean, the Wikipedia page already got updated and said the Tennessee Titans are the AAA affiliate of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, my goodness.
Turned into a minor league football team.
Good for Kevin Byard, though. I mean, I don't know him, but I've known him for a long time, and the fact that he is now going to a championship team and go after that ring, and what's funny is that he'll be sharing the secondary with another MTSU alum, Reed Blankenship. So Byard and Blankenship, the MTSU connection in Philadelphia. Your thoughts when you saw it?
I was shocked. I was really shocked. I wasn't expecting a move to be made. I thought all the moves that would be considered would maybe be discussed, and depending on how this Atlanta game went, would determine on whether or not anybody would be dealt. So that's where I was going with it. So I thought that they would maybe have these deals done behind closed doors,
right,
depending on the outcome of this weekend on whether or not that they were going to continue to kind of keep going for it or not.
I just wonder why it didn't happen last week. I mean, maybe you're trying to figure things out and, didn't find the right trade partner. But I got to tell you, we laughed yesterday about the Eagle, about Vrabel going to a party and taking off and, unveiling an A.J. Brown jersey. Like, what if somebody gets traded to the Eagles? And my goodness, Kevin Byard goes to the Eagles. And he was classy. He did a little Instagram post of thanking Nashville and John Robinson and Malarkey and everybody else along the way, and Amy Adams Strunk about his time here. But so our reaction today, Jared did a great job with it. Robbie and Rexo did a great job with it. So we're going to take it a little bit different today because with the trade going down, and Junie had a great question, and you want to tell the question, and it's our question of the day on our text line at 615-737-1025.
Yeah, no, this made me think of, for the people listening at home, whether you're a fan of the Titans, whether you're a fan of any team, the Preds, it doesn't really matter. Name a trade, like hit us up, 615-737-1025, a trade that happened with your team, or maybe just a guy that moved on and the team didn't re-sign him or whatnot, that hurt you the most. Because I feel like the feedback that I've been getting with Kevin Byard departing, people aren't necessarily as upset in a football sense as they are for a personal sense. What he meant to the team, how he was in the community, his character, his leadership in the locker room.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people are hurt by that, the loss of Kevin Byard.
What's the trade that got you upset?
I can't think of many trades with my team.
It's your question.
I do know. So
what is it?
I thought about when the Steelers did not re-sign James Harrison, and then he signed with the Bengals that one year. I believe it was 2013 He played with the Bengals. Then it didn't work out there, and he came right back and played for the Steelers.
Oh, nice. For me, I am the biggest Dale Murphy fan on planet Earth, and when they traded Dale Murphy to the Philadelphia Phillies in 1990, I was devastated. And I'm not I'm not one that goes all in on a team, and but he was such a great iconic figure to me growing up. And then when he got traded to Philadelphia, I was like, my God, he's not going to be on TBS anymore. He's He's not going to be these awful Braves teams anymore. And then the next year, the Braves go to the World Series. It is just like a double-edged sword. But when Dale Murphy was traded from the Braves to the Phillies, I was crushed. Just crushed. So it was one of those. But that's a great question. There's a lot of things that other, OJ, when he left the Bills and went to the Niners, people are upset back then. Football, right?
Yeah.
And then Joe Namath left the Jets and went to the Rams, and Johnny Unitas left the Colts and went to the Chargers. But those are different. Those are kind of like you're into your career. You're going, I totally disagree with Joe Rexrode. Kevin Byard is a player in this league, and although he made air quote, lost a step, Byard still makes things. And then, he contradicts himself by saying, well, it's probably because of people around him. Really? Yeah, no kidding there, JoJo. That's what's happening. But he's still good.
Well, think about this. Kevin Byard's – I feel like Kevin Byard is at his best. I feel like any safety in the NFL are at their best when a team has a good pass rush. And what has been the difference? Last year in 2022 and in 2021 – the Titans had a really good pass rush, and you're talking about 4 and 5 interception years for Kevin Byard. Go back to that year in 2020 where they had an excellent top 5 offense, but the defense was the thing that was holding them back. Kevin Byard only had 2 picks, and everybody was asking, where's Kevin Byard? Is he starting to fall off? And those questions were coming out about him. But I think it has to do with, guys like Arden Key and Harold Landry not getting home and affecting the quarterback and allowing a ball hawk player that can see the field. When a quarterback is impacted, that really helps out the safety to be able to make a play, because some of those reads are made much more quickly. So.
Texter 5087 says, let me get this straight. In the past few seasons, we've given the Eagles A.J. Brown, Kevin Byard, and Brett Kern, and in return, we've gotten Dillard and some picks. Hey, man, you win some, you lose some, and this is a thing where you just kind of pick yourself up and walk on. So you get draft choices, but are you confident that Mike Vrabel and his buddy Rand can draft accordingly? I'm not.
Well, here's the thing, Joe, is we've already seen the result of the A.J. Brown trade. That was a draft night trade where they got picks in that season's draft, and that ended up turning into Treylon Burks, and the 3rd-round pick that they got from Philadelphia was used to trade up to get Malik Willis. So that's essentially what they've gotten in these trades a 5th-round pick, a 6th-round pick, Terrell Edmonds, and Treylon Burks and Malik Willis for one of your best offensive players.
Nice guy that's got asthma that's never going to amount to much in the football league. I hope he becomes an All-Pro and Hall of Famer. But so far in the 1.5 years we have, the sample size is no. You want to pop some of the text? Again, our question today is, what trade in sports absolutely devastated you and one to this day you're still like, what we got?
Joel in Woodbury says Shea Weber here with the Nashville Predators. That was clearly one of the biggest trades here in Nashville history.
Yes.
And ended up bringing PK Subban to town, and I think that kind of worked out for the Preds in the long haul. But still a staple of the organization that many people love.
He's one of the top probably 3 or 4 beloved Preds players that's ever been here. And I remember the day, that was it was the day before, the day after Pat Summitt passed away.
Oof.
So there was all this chaos going on, and then he gets traded, and then PK comes here. I get what happened and all that stuff, but, man, that's a good one. Thank you, Joel. That's a good. What else we got?
0242 says Emmitt Smith when he went to the Cardinals.
Okay, that's a great one. And I've actually talked to Dave McGinnis about this because Emmitt went to the Cardinals still in really good shape, and he only lasted like 2 years there, and he came a consummate professional, and Dallas is like, all right, it's time to go. But remember, what somebody's trash, air quote, is somebody else's treasure. And he said Emmitt was outstanding when he was there for the couple of years, and the Cardinals weren't very good teams. But if you're a lifelong Cowboy fan, and next thing you know, Emmitt Smith is gone to the Cardinals, at least Byard's going to a good team.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to who's the worst, the Bears or somebody like that.
We also got Ben on the text line. He says when Shaq got traded to the Heat.
Shaq played for 18 teams in the NBA, so
he's got a rainbow of jerseys.
He does.
And then Pat on the text line says Derrick Henry getting traded in a week will be mine.
But Robbie and Rexford said that there's a report that there's no interest in him. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah. So Diana Rossini wrote an article in The Athletic, kind of talking about who is reaching out to who, and she had a whole list of teams in that article. But for the Titans, she mentioned that a ton of teams were reaching out about Kevin Byard. One team that she did not name was reaching out about Traylon Burks and said that
was that the Washington Generals? Who was that?
I have no idea. Maybe the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL can we trade up
I know.
here?
We digress. He's in the NFL. We're sitting at a bar in downtown Nashville. I get it all. Okay, so zero interest in Derrick Henry? Zero?
So, yeah, that's what she's saying, that the interest isn't high enough because, I don't know, I just feel like do you think that Derrick Henry could get traded for more than what the Titans got for Kevin Byard?
Absolutely. Well, they know that they want to unload Henry. I know that Mr. Vrabel knows that, and so they're probably like, hey, we'll take a first-rounder, and everybody's like, no, we're good. We'll give you a fifth-rounder. At some point, you got to say, all right, let's go fifth-rounder, sixth-rounder. But here's something else, too. Now, listen to Joe and Robbie, all right? They said 50% of the text line is okay with Kevin Byard getting traded, all right? And then 50% is not. I understand all that. But our natural instinct as human beings is not to lose. So I understand the reaction of people that are upset about this, right? You invest in this team, you love this player, you love that player, you love Kevin Byard, and to see him go away, you feel devastated, you feel upset because you don't want. Now it's like, we look forward to next year getting draft choices, but nobody wants to lose. If you want to lose, if you like losing, don't be around me. I don't want you around me. I don't want you anywhere near me. And so I understand some people being upset with this. I understand people being very happy to let him go. But the fact is, now you send a message out that, like, all right, maybe we're going to start rebuilding for next year, and we'll see what we got this year. Fans don't like that.
And this also kind of goes to our conversation yesterday about Mike Vrabel's comments, about what he's looking for in trying to build in his locker room. And it kind of kills me to hear him say that this past weekend and then to go on, because I think this had to have Vrabel's stamp of approval, don't you think?
Absolutely it did.
So with that being said, it's like now you get rid of the guy that, one, was always high energy, pumping in the positivity, always being the vocal leader on the defensive end, keeping his head cool, unlike some members of that defense, I feel. And I just feel like what's that message sending to your locker room? You're trying to get the most out of this group. You're trying to turn the season around, and then you go get rid of this guy. Sure, was his production at an ultra-high level? No, it wasn't this year so far. But, I mean, did that have to do with him, or did that have to do with what was around him? I would choose the latter when it comes to that. So moving off a guy like Kevin Byard, who I personally saw in this locker room and I personally saw was a leader of men, I just think it's going to send the wrong message to the rest of the veterans in that Titans locker room.
I totally agree. And we got Hal Gilcom up at 9:30, and I know it's hockey and football, but still asking Hal about, look, there's a guy here, you love him, and he's gone the next day. What do you do? And then you get traded. There's more that goes into this you uproot a lot of things, and you got to move your family to Philadelphia or whatever goes on there. So we got Hal Gill coming at 9:30. 10 o'clock, we got Jonathan Hutton. And, Junior, our question of the day is,
what is one player for your team that either didn't get re-signed or got traded?
No. I like the traded part.
Okay, all right. We're sticking to traded only, fitting the Kevin Byard.
I like where you're going with
narrative,
but I'm crying about Dale Murphy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't experienced a bad trade for one of my teams yet. I haven't.
Great question.
Done that. So either way, if you had a player that you were devastated about being traded about, we know a lot of you are upset about Kevin Byard being dealt to the Philadelphia Eagles. We are all ears. 615-737-1025. Chase and Big Joe, Junior Riddle in for Chase McCabe today and tomorrow. We are live from Pete and Terry's. We got some more on the Kevin Byard trade coming up next here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:30. Join Robbie and Rexroad for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The Choice is Yours. Wednesdays at 8:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. If you have some things around your home that you've been putting off fixing, like your regular HVAC maintenance or a clogged bathroom drain, Hiller has some big discounts this month. When the temperature drops and you start using your heater for the first time, you do not want to be dealing with breakdown issues, and this month, Hiller is offering half off HVAC tune-up. And Hiller is bringing back their $99 drain cleaning special. These deals only last this month, so be sure to call today. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, proud supporters of the Preds of Vols and Vandy. Hiller, call the Happy Face Truck today.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, get a Kubota compact tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, plus save up to $800 on qualifying implements. Now through October 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Visit Coleman Tractor, your local Kubota dealer in Clarksville, Nashville, Paris, and White House today.
Are you looking to buy a new home? Need cash now instead of having to wait for your current house to sell? Don't get ripped off by one of those I buy your house people. Call Loan Pronto. Hey, Willie Donick here. Loan Pronto's Dream Home Bridge Loan can help tap your equity so you can get the cash you need. Make a clean offer on that new home or that investment property with cash to cover the down payment. With this amazing program, you can get the cash in a matter of days. Very little paperwork and usually no appraisal is needed. So you can go after the house you want with no contingency. Then when your current house sells, the bridge loan completely disappears. Don't put off your dream. Let Loan Pronto help you leverage your equity so you can get the cash to make a solid, clean offer. Call now, 615-499-5780. Ask about the Dream Home Bridge Loan. LoanPronto.com. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to the Tennessee Men's Clinic in Franklin.
Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and
wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough about them. Their providers took care of me, followed up, and made sure I had a treatment plan that actually works. It's awesome. If I were you, and you're like me, I'd give them a call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra. Results vary.
All the big plays.
Rebound, try out in front, and Saros covers it up.
All the big stories.
Andrew Burnett reportedly hired as the next head coach of the Predators.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Checkered flag is in the air.
Comparing goalies to running backs.
46-27 Vanderbilt.
Does this group of players need more?
The Game and the Game Nashville app. Sports talk, the next generation.
Engage.
You're listening to The Chase and Big Joe Show.
Make it so.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Hey, what up,
Grab
girl?
my glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna hit this city.
Let's go.
Before I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Cause when I leave for the night, I ain't coming back. I'm talking pedicure.
All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe Show. Kesha is playing at the Ryman tonight. I haven't heard that song in forever, and so I hear it now with the words, and I can't stop laughing. But I know it's sold out. I know a ton of people going tonight. Fantastic. I hope you all have the best time ever. Preds tonight play Vancouver. Hal Gill joining us at 9:30. We're live this morning at Pete and Terry's. The Riddler is in for the Big Cat, who's away. And as I said, Riddler, when the Big Cat's away, the Big Boss Cat's away, the mice will play. You have a great question that a ton of people are winging. But before I give it to you, again, great job by Jared Stillman yesterday. Great job by Robbie and Rexroad with all the reaction, all the comments. Great job, guys, for that. So our question today is?
Our question of the day is, what is a trade that happened with your team that hurt you the most? We know a bunch of you Titans fans are mourning the loss of Kevin Byard being sent to the Eagles to join A.J. Brown.
Is he okay? So that's a question, 615-737-1025. What trades absolutely devastated you? Riddler, let's go to the phone. Let's bring in Nick right now. Nick, are you there? Good morning.
Yes, sir. I was saying Carolina's DJ Moore and their lot of draft picks last year for Bryce Young and the little fire that they have going on there with not winning a single game.
Wait, Nick, you might be the first Carolina Panther fan I've ever talked to.
I know, that's kind of sad.
I mean, you're 0-5. What is going on? So you got Bryce. Bryce Young, by all accounts, he's a nice guy, but I don't think he's the answer.
He's miniature.
No, they should have held off until this next draft because I don't know the kid's name, but everybody's all about him being like the next Patrick Mahomes. I was like, why couldn't y'all wait a year and then trade for that number 1 pick? If not
Caleb Williams from USC, right?
Yeah, Caleb Williams. And then on top of that is y'all were talking about y'all's running back Derrick Henry. I was like, if I was Tennessee, I'd be reaching out to Chicago about Carolina's number 1 pick, trying to put something together for Tennessee to trade Derrick Henry in a package to get that number 1 pick so y'all can get that quarterback coming out next year.
Well, that's a good point. Nick, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate it. You can weigh in 615-737-1025. And I thought Derrick Henry, I think he gets interest. I think the Titans are asking for the moon, and other teams don't want to give. They know because they know
it's going to be a 1 or 2 year rental. You're not going to give up a premium pick for a guy that's about to hit his 30s at the running back position with the mileage that Derrick Henry has. And again, he could be a huge contribution to a contending team that needs to add to their running back room. So I mean, it's just kind of a give and take. I see no more than a 5th round pick at most. For Derrick Henry if they were to trade him, and I just don't know if the Titans are going to do that. But here's a good text by Kyle on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. He goes, the Buyer trade is easily the biggest heartbreak of my life. I'm the type of Blue Raider fan that drives to Minneapolis to watch my Blue Raiders play. To have our most accomplished player on the professional side come to the Titans was a dream come true. So Kyle has really taken the trade of Kevin Byard to heart.
But I'm happy for Kevin Byard, right? But it all started back in March, Junie, when they asked him to take a pay cut, and that just really is like, what? 'Cause I don't think. Look, when they had the purge in 2004 and they lost Derek Mason and a lot of other people, that was expected because all that. But, here's a guy that's just, is such an integral part of the community and the team, and then they asked him to take a pay cut, and then it was all denied, and then it came out, and it's like, what are you doing? And so what does that send to the locker room now? I don't know, but good for Kevin Byard. He's gone to Philadelphia, and I just wish, that was another question I had today on the text line. It's like, we needed more back. Like, I want the Liberty Bell. Like, give Nashville the Liberty Bell for 90 days, right? We'll put it out in front of Bridgestone Arena.
I think we should get if the Phillies make the World Series, they should play at least 1 game at First Horizon Park. Yep.
See, there's all things that we could have done. Titans like, no, we'll take that. We could have gotten Rocky statue, Phillies. Why can't the Sixers play 5 games here? I mean, there's all kind of things we could have gotten for this.
Yep.
Instead they get draft choice. More text coming in?
Yep. No. So Mike from Franklin brought up one that's been kind of a common theme on the text line: Montana to Kansas City and making the AFC Championship game with the Chiefs. That hurt a lot of Niners fans.
So Montana in 1990 was crushed in the championship game by the Giants. I think it was George Martin, maybe. I mean, if you see Montana gets crushed, he sits out 91 and 92, and he goes to the Chiefs and gets back there in 93. They go and play the Oilers. They barely make the playoffs. They beat the Oilers and go to the AFC Championship game and lose to Buffalo. But it was weird seeing Montana in a number 19 Chiefs jersey. So, yeah, I totally agree with that.
We got Josh on the text line, says, as a Falcons fan, Sanders to the 49ers and also the Matt Ryan trade that happened last year in the offseason when he got sent to the Indianapolis Colts.
Wasn't time for Matt Ryan to kind of –
Yeah, it was a bit time. But you got to think, man, he took them to the Super Bowl. I mean, they always had good offenses there in Atlanta. They were always competitive with Matt Ryan. So it's like –
They were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think?
Oh, goodness.
I remember I was in college, and my college roommate was a diehard Patriots fan. I say diehard, but I think he's more on the bandwagon.
Sure.
But either way, I remember just razzing him the whole game, and then they came back, and I never heard the end of that one.
Well, it happens. 2883 says, at the end of the day, the Eagles are Titans built. They got 2 players. I mean, 2 good players, right? A.J. Brown and
they got Marcus Mariota as the backup quarterback.
They do, don't they?
They had Brett Kern. I don't think he's
I
still
forgot about Mariota.
Kern he's retired, but yeah, Mariota's their backup.
They can have all the Mariotas they want because he is not good.
No, he is not. Brian from Mountain Julie says when the Baltimore Colts packed up in the middle of the night and headed to Indianapolis.
That is a great 30 for 30. If you've never seen it, it's kind of like, I think the title's like When the Band Played or something like that, how they moved out in the middle of the night and went to Indianapolis. Wow. If you've ever seen that, go watch it.
Our boy Adam from Portland also said seeing Freddie Freeman in a Dodgers uniform, Mac in a Ravens jersey, and even seeing Randy Moss being wasted by us. All super ugly, not trades, but cringy situations.
That's a great one. McNair for the Ravens was still kind of weird and odd after all he did for this football team. And, of course, he's reunited with our good buddy Derek Mason. And they had a good team in 2006 rolling, and Peyton Manning and the Colts went up there and beat them in Baltimore. And that's the year Peyton won his first Super Bowl with the Colts.
There you go. 1976 says, oh, man, what a good question. I've been a Raiders fan for over 30 years, never cared about college football until 96, 97-ish, and remember pulling for Charles Woodson to win the Heisman, and he did. Then he went to my Raiders. He's been my favorite player ever since, and when he went to the Packers, I was crushed. But in the long run, I was glad he got a Super Bowl ring. Phil from KY.
Good job, Phil. Thank you. Remember, he got did he dislocate his collarbone?
In that game, yeah. I think he got hurt in the middle of the game.
Awful. You know,
Jameson says Colts trading Marshall Faulk for a 2nd and 5th to the Rams. And ends up becoming one of the greatest running backs of all time.
And the next year, they win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With all that. Yeah, I forgot because they had Manning and Marshall Faulk. And was Marvin Harrison on that team already maybe in 98? That's a heck of a draft right there. Or heck of a whatever team.
Man, there's so many of these. 3337 says, I agree it hurts to lose a player like Kevin Byard as a Titans fan, but if you thought he was going to be the reason that we won 7 or 8 of the next few games to get in the playoffs, I'm sorry for you, but it wasn't going to happen. This team is not good. The writing was on the wall last year, and we stubbornly just kept him to recreate the magic.
Okay, that's a valid point. But who's better than Kevin Byard on the team right now?
Outside of Jeff Simmons, Derrick Henry.
No, as a safety.
Oh, as a safety.
Yeah.
I mean, Amani Hooker's pretty good, but he's not Kevin Byard.
No, he's nowhere near Kevin Byard.
But, I mean, I would still say he's a good safety in comparison to the league. I mean, he just got re-signed 3 years, $11 million.
Yeah, no, I get that. But who is equal to Kevin Byard you can put in right now?
No, there's not a soul. I mean, I in my opinion, I think Kevin Byard coming into this year at least was a top 5 safety in the NFL. I really do. I think the way he is versatile enough to make plays on the ball in the passing game, and he's also not afraid to step up and make tackles in the run game as well. I mean, you're talking about one of the more well-versed safeties in the league with a lot of production. So he's not replaceable. I'm sorry.
You're right. All right, keep them coming, 615-737-1025. The one trade that absolutely devastated you that you still can't get over, for me, it's Dale Murphy back in 1990. Coming up next, though, Hal Gill's going to join us. The Preds are on a roll. We'll ask Hal about being in the locker room when guys get traded, when he gets traded, when people go and say goodbye. You don't see him again for a while. So we'll do all that.
Yep, and you're listening to the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by Regal Realty Group. And also, before we go, Preds fans, don't miss out tomorrow night's Smashville live show at Brewhouse South in Cool Springs at 6 p.m. See your Predators star players up close and personal and get autographs and pictures. This week's special guest is Predators head coach Andrew Brunette. Smashville Live is brought to you by the Black Abbey Brewing Company. We got a ton of text on this topic. Name a player from your favorite team that absolutely crushed you when he got traded. 615-737-1025. We got Hal Gill coming up next here on the Chase and Big Joe Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
They're homegrown in Nashville, discussing the biggest topics in the SEC.
The fans are going to want the rivalries to stick around. They've lost to Alabama every year.
The NFL.
What if all the top 3 quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3? You've got to draft your guy at 2.
And anything in between.
From thinking we know everything to then forgetting about everything we thought we knew the day before.
They're Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow on Outkick's Hot Mic.
Out of the gates, ready to go.
Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Get Black Friday deals earlier than ever at Electronic Express. Get the gifts you want and save up to 40% throughout the entire store. Beat the crowds and save on hundreds of 4K TVs, appliances, computers, and more. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing on items like an LG 75-inch 4K TV, now only $649, or a Samsung French door refrigerator, only $13.99. Black Friday deals are here at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Want an inexperienced surgeon?
Okay, nurse, I'm ready for the scalpel.
How about an inexperienced airline pilot?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, and I'm terrified.
Experience matters, and we have it.
Regal Realty Group is experienced to help you from contract to close. They know the area, understand financing, and have up-to-date property listings and comparisons. Oh, and lots of experience. Visit RegalRG.com.
This week's Nashville's Best Deal is from Nashville's largest axe throwing venue, Bad Axe Throwing Nashville. Go to thegamenashville.com/deals to get a $50 gift card for $25. Aim for a great time while enjoying panoramic downtown views, live music, curated cocktails from the full bar, and a Northwoods-inspired menu with a Southern twist. Bad Axe Throwing Nashville welcomes axe throwers and non-axe throwers alike. Bad Axe Throwing Nashville, 648 Fogg Street.
Penalty Box Radio Live is back. Join Alex Doherty and Sean Smith every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for a full hour of local hockey talk, full analysis of the Nashville Predators. Honest hockey talk like you've come to expect from the Penalty Box Radio brand over the years. Penalty Box Radio is back home on 102.5 The Game for the 2023-2024 hockey season. For more, check them out at penaltyboxradio.com.
Yo, 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 what's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Lynn Ozawi.
We host the ESPN podcast Laughter Permitted, where we have candid chats with trailblazing women in sports and beyond.
We've talked with goats like Billie Jean King, Simone Biles, Mia Hamm, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Michaela Schifrin, just to name a few.
So grab a donut or 500 and check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Ally, who has supported us since day one.
It's Laughter Permitted. There's lots to love from Apple right now at Verizon. Get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and more to love from Apple on us with select phone trade-in and select unlimited plans. There's no better place to get what you love from Apple than at Verizon. And there's no better time than right now. All that with the network you can really rely on. It's your Verizon. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on select 5G unlimited plans required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply. One offer per eligible Verizon line. Additional terms apply.
Hey, we love to hear from you. Give us a call on the phone line, sponsored by Wilson County Hyundai.
Yes, I'm looking for a friend of mine. Last name Jazz, first name Hugh.
615-737-1025.
Hugh Jazz. Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber.
That song's going to be in my head all day long. Welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe Show, live from Pete and Terry's at Bridgestone Arena. Kesha's in concert tonight at the Ryman, and the Riddler's going to go see Kesha tonight. We're excited about that. We're also excited about our next guest. Let's bring in the man, the myth, the absolute legend, Hal Gill. Hal, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm excited for a big day in hockey. All 32 teams playing tonight. Preds being one of them. It's going to be fun.
That's what I love about hockey, Hal, is that, in the NFL, if you have a really bad game, you have to wait 7 days. In hockey, it's usually 48 hours. And I got to tell you what, the Preds, these last two games, Hal, have played simply fantastic. What are they doing correctly that maybe we didn't see in the first couple of games?
It's fun, isn't it? I'm having a blast watching these guys. What are they doing? They're trying to find their identity. I don't think it's perfect, which is even more encouraging. But they're finding ways to play fast and move the puck quickly. And guys that are stepping up aren't the big guns. Phil had a beautiful goal the other night in New York, but for the most part, it's been Tommy Novak stepping up, and the other night Evangelista going. Just a lot of names that we want to see start popping. Gus Nyquist has looked great. But they're finding that identity. They're extending extending plays and making it happen. It's and defending well and getting great goaltending from Juice. So it's been fun to watch. I'm excited to see where this goes because, you don't want to rush to judgment, but they've been really competitive and they've been playing well and getting wins.
Yeah, they go to New York. We talked last week about going to Madison Square Garden, how sometimes for new guys that can be a little bit overwhelming. But they go up there and they really kick their town. They come back and take care of San Jose. Were you they should have beat San Jose, but they kind of put them away. Were you impressed with their effort on Saturday?
Yeah. I think those are games that maybe you fall asleep on. Like you had the lead against New York, and I don't think they're ever felt safe with it, right? They knew that New York could come back and punch them in the mouth late in the game, but they stuck with it, which I think is a good sign that they were able to nail it down. And then San Jose, you get the lead and you think, okay, this is an easy game. Well, it's not. You got to close out the bad teams too, and so they did doing that. I think there's a lot of things to be really excited about when you look at the body of work that these guys have played with, and they're not playing in a shell. Like sometimes you get a lead and you just try to lock it down, and you're going to have to do that at sometimes. But a lot of times they want to play their identity, which is speed and moving through the neutral zone, creating offense. If they don't have the puck, they want to get the puck, and they're not backing in. And so that was, I think personally, I have to watch these guys play all season. So I'm excited that they're playing this way into that identity.
We're talking to Hal Gill, radio and TV analyst for the Nashville Predators. Hal, Philip Tomasino has been a healthy scratch for the past couple of games. As a young and up-and-coming prospect who's shown a lot of flashes here and there, is that concerning for you going for this team going forward with the direction that they're going towards, trying to move younger, that one of their younger prospects seems to not be getting the production early in the season?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think there was a couple games where they said they need to work on getting to the interior and getting into the scoring areas, fighting to get position in front of the net, all those things that successful teams do. I think they were trying to do that as best as they could, and Tomasino wasn't quite getting it done there. I mean, like the bottom line is, he didn't get the looks. He made some plays, but not enough, and not enough in the interior. So I think, he's a young player. You don't want to squash him. Sometimes it's good to sit back and go up top and watch the game from a different angle, learn from it, get in practice, and work as hard as you can to get back in the lineup. When your chance comes, you have a new perspective and you try to go at it. So I'm discouraged, of course. You want to see him come off the page and be awesome all season. It didn't happen, and so now he takes a step back and hopefully 2 steps forward next time he jumps in.
Now, Hal, I'm always going to start with the negative. We're going to move towards more of a positive here. Don't
give me that. I don't want that negativity.
Well, that's why we started with it, Hal. We're going to go to a more positive here. Tommy Novak, talk to me about this kid. I was really high on what I saw from him last season. It seems to have really carried over this year. A couple power play goals. Really seems to be a pivotal part of this offensive movement for this team. Talk to me about the impact of him, and what do you think that he can become in the future for this Nashville Predators organization?
I thought we were going negative. That's not negative at all.
I said we were going to start with
your
the
negative. I'm happy to hang out with you anytime. Tommy, we were looking at his stats. Over his last 36 games, he's got 36 points. I mean, he's lighting it up. And, you put together the great shot he had, the great passing that he has, and then you flip in, he's got a really good shot. And I didn't see that when he was, coming into training camp. And I just saw kind of a perimeter good player, but now he's, I feel like maybe he was that half-wall power play guy and he'd just stand there and dish it. But now he's attacking the net. He had a nice goal where he kind of slipped into the crease and only had about 2 inches to make a play, and he made it happen. He's got a good shot. He's got a little more jam in the corner than I remember. I talked to him, and he said he put on 5 pounds of muscle, and he said, these kids talk about body composition. So he he's paying attention to it. He's doing the little things that make players great, and so I'm not going to put a cap on him. I'm going to let him decide what he is, because right now he's kind of got the total package, really. I mean, I also think he's surprisingly defending better than I thought. He was good in the face-off circle the other night. I think he was 8-2 in the circle. Like, those things, all those little things add up. Coaches like that when you do all the little things well, and so it's nice to see him get rewarded for it as well.
We're talking to Hal Gill, the magnanimous Hal Gill. Hal, let me ask you this. On February 26, 2008, you were traded. Was that the first time you were traded?
2008, yes. That was the first time.
What, we're reacting to a Titans trade yesterday. What was it like for you? How did you find out? Did you know it was going to happen? Were you blindsided? What all happened?
You know what? Everyone has a different story. Mine was a tough one. I was in Toronto. I was sick. I actually went up because we were going to be sellers in Toronto, and I went up and I said, "Hey, am I going to be moved?" And the GM point blank said, "We love you. We don't want to let you go." And I was like, "Okay, great." And then I went to Florida for a game. I was sick. After the game, we stayed over, and I went to bed and I slept. And it was a trade deadline. And I woke up, and at 3:00, the actual deadline, I was like, okay, I guess, I'm not moved, and they didn't move many of my friends, so I was pretty happy. Being sick, I went right back to bed. It was about 2 hours later, I woke up with my phone blowing up and messages and texts, and I said, no, that's not good. And I found out I was off to Pittsburgh. So, it's tough. And I remember I talked to Ray Shero, the general manager. He said, "Hey, I know you're sick. Just sleep there, and we'll get you whenever you're feeling better. We'll have you fly out to wherever we are." And then Rob Scuderi, our good buddy here, our development coach here, was playing in Pittsburgh. He broke his hand, and they said, "Sorry, I know you're sick, but you got to fly up because we need you to play tomorrow night." So it was a quick turnaround, and I was in the lineup, and being sick and not playing. But let me just say, these players get paid a lot, and I got paid a lot, and I was happy to do it. But it is a lot to go through a trade, and when your team is losing, you're looking around the locker room going, something's going to change. I don't know if it's a coach getting fired or if it's someone getting traded or if it's me getting traded. So it's a hard time to go through. And let's not forget the family. You guys were talking about it before. The families, they have to deal with that. Like my poor wife, hey, sorry, I'm going to go. And when I get to wherever I'm going, I'm going to have 20 best friends. And you know what? You're going to stay here and take care of the kids, get them out of school, move them, get them into another school, and you're not going to have any friends there, and you're just going to have to like it. It really is it's a tough thing to go through. Not emotionally, physically, it's exhausting, but it's just really hard on the families to go through. And eventually, all the wives get together, and you have friends, and undoubtedly, you move the next 2 years or whatever it is, you get traded again.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to go through.
Well, we're grateful for the second trade in your career that brought you to Nashville when you got traded by the Canadiens. Were you?
Let me tell you that one, because I got a phone call. I was in Buffalo. I got a phone call from our GM in Montreal, and he said, "Hey, I just wanted you to know we traded you." And I said, "Oh, where am I going?" And he said, "I can't tell you. I'll give you a call back in about an hour." And I sat there for an hour, not knowing. And then David Poile called me, and he's like, "Hi, David Poile with the Nashville Predators." I was like, "Oh, am I going to be on your team?" And he's like, "No one told you?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I guess I know now." So,
well, did you go back and say and ask the Canadiens, like, "What the hell, guys?"
Yeah, well, it had to go through NHL. I'm like, "Why couldn't you wait for an hour until it went through the NHL?" Because I didn't know anything. Ignorance is bliss, buddy.
It is. And then, you got to acclimate yourself to a brand new locker room. How long does that take?
You know what? You guys know me. I'm a loudmouth, so I jump in Some players dip their toes in the water. I was a cannonball kind of guy, and I'd come in and make a clown out of myself, and it made it a little easier, I think. But it's different for everyone. I think there's some guys that it takes a while. I just love being around a team and learning the new systems, learning the new dynamics in the locker room, seeing who's the funny guy, who's the loudmouth, who's the quiet confidence. It's kind of fun for me, but everyone has a different entry into another team.
How far will they go? The Canucks come tonight. What can we expect from this Canucks team taking on this kind of hot Preds team?
Yeah, well, Canucks are, they've gone through a lot the last couple of years, but they have some good players. Quinn Hughes, if you get to watch him tonight, he's one of the best players to watch. Just a smooth skating defenseman. He's going to be all over the place. So the Preds have their hands full with him. But, Elias Pettersson, like every time it looks like everyone's remote just goes unhinged when he gets the puck because it just stops. He'll slow down the game, and he's in control. So he's fun to watch. And Brock Besser can score with the best of them. A great shooting forward. So Preds have their hands full, but I think if they play to their identity, they're still identifying what that is. Smoothing it out, so to speak. And so I think if they play with that speed, they're going to give a lot of teams some fits. So I'm looking forward to seeing that tonight. I hope they win this, but I think this is going to be a tight one. I'm expecting that.
Very good. Hal Gill, as always, we appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are okay with Chase being away and behaving himself, I'm sure.
Oh, we are. Thanks, Hal.
All right. Cheers, guys.
All right, Hal Gill, I love that perspective of somebody. You ever been traded? I've never been traded.
No, I've never been traded. So.
I've been told to get out of here, but I've never been traded. So we love Hal's perspective on that. What's our question of the day?
Our question of the day is, what trade for your favorite team has hurt you the most in the past? A lot of reaction here with Kevin Byard being sent to the Philadelphia Eagles. He was beloved here as an MTSU Blue Raider and also as a Tennessee Titan. So 615-737-1025. We are taking your questions on our phone and text line with that today. Also, we are live here from Pete and Terry's down at Bridgestone Arena as the Preds are set to take on the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Nick Frazier, our producer, is back at the game studio, sponsored by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Coming up next, we're going to be keeping on with the topic of the day, which trades have hurt you the most here on the Chase and Big Joe Show. Junior Riddle in for Chase McCabe here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Coming on in for Fergie. Hey, it's Pete Weber. Tonight, the Predators continue their homestand against the Vancouver Canucks. Join Jay Moore, Max Hers, and me starting at 7 o'clock.
Your home for Smashville is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Lee Company is the trusted expert for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, and general maintenance for facilities throughout Kentucky and Tennessee. Our technology and expertise guides facility owners and managers to smart decisions. When you need a reliable partner to keep your facility profitable and running 24/7, we hope you'll think of us. Visit LeeCompany.com to learn more. That's LeeCompany.com. Lee Company, all you need.
There are ordinary hotels, and there's the Four Seasons. There are ordinary cars, and there's the Rolls-Royce. There are ordinary handbags, and there's Gucci. There are ordinary engagement rings, and there's Genesis. A Genesis diamond ring is unlike any other. Artistic, innovative design, handcrafted precision, exceptional detail and quality. This is why people who work at other jewelers come to Genesis for their rings. A Genesis ring is considered the gold standard in bridal, with no compromises, no cut corners, nothing short of perfection. We have the look, the style every woman dreams about. At Genesis, you'll find dozens of exclusive world-class bridal designers who are revered for their attention to detail, exceptional vision, and superior craftsmanship. A Genesis ring rises to the occasion, reflecting her style, her unique personality, her confidence, her individuality. In a world filled with ordinary, for this moment, choose extraordinary. Choose Genesis. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
Hey home buyers, TJ Anderson here with More Great Homes. Located just west of Nashville in a tranquil setting of Kingston Springs Ranchettes neighborhood, 1617 Wildlife Trail offers 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a 2-car garage, and a 1-year builder warranty, all for under $450,000. Contact my team today at tjandersonhomes.com for more info. Want your home listing to be seen and heard by home buyers? Google TJ Anderson Homes and see why we are referred by clients so often. TJ Anderson Homes at Benchmark Realty, office number 615-432-2919.
Get in on the conversation at 615-737-1025. The game text line is driven by Wilson County Hyundai. Online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, LG, and A.O. Smith. In-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators and laundry pairs to water heaters. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
You're listening to the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
We are spying on you pretty much around the clock.
But why, Mr. McGuire?
Do you want to know the terrifying truth? Or do you want to see me suck a few dingers?
Dingers! On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Well, it is. I'm kind of nervous for this interview, Riddler. We have a special guest joining us. He'll be in town this weekend at the Music City Multicon taking place down in Lebanon. Let's bring in the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Good morning, Ted. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Oh, we appreciate you doing this. You got to be excited to come into to Nashville or Lebanon this weekend. I guess you're looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Any opportunity to greet the fans and sign autographs and take pictures and just generally have a good old time. And not only that, I said, who doesn't like to go to Nashville?
Exactly right. Ted, I want to ask you this. What's it like still being so beloved after all these years? I mean, you could get into a ring tonight, 20,000 people would lose their mind. What's all that like?
It's really surreal. I can still remember the first time I walked into a Walmart or whatever, and saw the original action figure, the LJN. Now the Funko Pops and all that stuff, and I'm amazed. It's like, I haven't had wrestling tights on in 30 years.
Wow.
I'll be 70. I'll be 70 in January, and yet this is still. I go to all these autograph signings, and the kids, they bring the Funko Pops, and and I guess one of the biggest sellers for the company, at least it shows up that way when we get our royalties, is the video games. I guess there's a whole lot of WWE video games out there. So anyway, but bottom line, I couldn't be happier and more grateful. So. I'm coming to Nashville. I got to tell you guys something. Sure. My biological father, not Mike DiBiase, is the father who raised me from the age of 5 until I lost him when he died in 1969 when I was 15. But my biological father's name was Ted Wills, and he was a professional singer. He had the most beautiful deep bass voice. He was a regular on the old Tennessee Ernie Ford show. And I thought I'd tell the Nashville fans that, so they, unfortunately, as much as I would like to sing, I couldn't carry a tune if it had handles on it.
We're talking to Ted DiBiase, WWE legend here. Now, Ted, you were a little bit before my time, but I kind of grew up with the WWE and playing the video games like you were alluding to earlier. And I remember the first WWE game that I had back in 2006, kind of going through all the championships and playing the game. And I saw the $1 Million Championship, and that took me through a spin of a rabbit hole of finding out who you were at the age of 9 and 10 years old. So can you talk about the development of the $1 Million Championship and where that gimmick came from?
Well, the first WrestleMania that I was in was WrestleMania 4, and it's kind of crazy because WrestleMania, when WrestleMania 3 took place, I remember because at the time I had a tremendous deal in Japan, and my tag team partner was Stan Hansen, and I was going back and forth in Japan and just kicking it, and I pick up the paper and it says WWF sets indoor world attendance record at WrestleMania 3. Ooh. And as soon as I saw that, I said, if I'm going to stay relative in wrestling in this country, then I have to work for Vince McMahon. And it was just shortly thereafter that I get a call from the WWF, and which is WWE now, and Vince wants a meeting with me, and so I went and met with him, and he said, Ted, I've got an idea. He says it's new. He says a lot of things in wrestling have been done and redone. This is fresh. It's new. He says, but here's the deal. He says I can't tell you what it is unless you agree to come on board with me. So I had to put and so I went home and thought about that. I didn't have to think about it very long. and I called him back and I said, I'm your guy. I said, so what is it? And he says, I'm not going to tell you over the phone. So he flies me back to New York, and he lays out the whole idea. He says, everybody hates somebody who is with the essence of this character, and he said, I think you're perfect for it. You interview well, and blah 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 blah. And so that's and he says, I haven't given him a name yet. I said, boy, he sounds like $1 million man. And Vince goes, the $1 million man he is. And right there, is where it started. And but all the things that they did to get that character over, all the vignettes, me kicking the kids out of a swimming pool and kicking the honeymoon couple out of the honeymoon suite because it's the best right. Suite in the hotel. All that stuff they did. I mean, people hated me before I ever walked through the curtain the first time. So.
Oh, that's great. Hey, Ted, do you mind hanging on through the break? We got more questions for you, but we're up against the break. Is that okay?
Sure. Absolutely.
All right, we got more with the $1 Million Man. We're smiling ear to ear. This is crazy. With the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Much more with him coming up next. You listen to the Chase and Big Joe show right here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
It's electric in Smashville. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 429 has a new path to a dignified career. Local 429 is accepting applications for the highest skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to IBEW429.org. IBEW Local 429, your proud seventh man since the beginning. Go Preds.
I bought jewelry in New York, I bought jewelry in LA, I bought jewelry in South Beach, I bought jewelry internationally.
Business owner Adam Rothberg knows jewelry. And of all the stores he shopped over the years, his number one place to go, it's right here, Genesis Diamonds.
There's not a real big reason to go visit a lot of other jewelry stores. Everything that you hope to find everywhere else, you may get bits and pieces of it from others, but you come here and it's a one-stop shop. It's everything that you need to have.
From the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds to the top designer brands in the world to a stunning selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
You really don't need to go anywhere else. Quality of the pieces, obviously a large selection, a selection that fits into a lot of people's budget, and then obviously good counsel and good advocacy for the people that work here that actually know the pieces and know the jewelry business.
And who aren't paid on commission.
They're not pushy. No hard sell.
All this plus the strongest warranties and guarantees in the jewelry industry, plus nationwide price protection and free service for life on any purchase.
Service you get from Genesis is second to none.
Come discover the store that's got it all. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
All of us at 102.5 and 106.3 The Game want to recognize our active military, veterans, first responders, and educators with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly wildly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
This is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Now, your Game Center update.
This Game Center update is delivered by Black Tie Moving. This is Nick Frazier. Yesterday's trade news out of the NFL involving Tennessee Titans Mayor Murfreesboro All-Pro safety Kevin Byard. Byard was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 5th and 6th round pick, along with acquiring Terrell Edmonds. Byard was a 2-time Pro Bowler with the Titans in 2017 and 2021. Also a co-leader in NFL's interceptions in the 2017 season. Byard played 127 games for the Titans in his 7-year career with not missing a game. Byard now joins former teammates from the Titans, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, and Marcus Mariota. With the departure of Kevin Byard, the Titans saved $2.4 million in cap space this season and north of $14 million the following 2024 season. Tune in tonight for some more hockey action as the Nashville Predators are hosting the Vancouver Canucks. Puck drop is set for 8:23 p.m. You can listen to our pregame coverage starting at 7 o'clock, right here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Game Center update delivered by Black Tie Moving. Use the promo code GAME to score 10% off your next move.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 102.5 The Game or visit thegamenashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
79-52 Vanderbilt.
And I think he's got a coach
shot by Cheryl.
You're going to see more moves. The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Let me talk to you. Talking what's important to Nashville.
Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show.
Well, Lottie frickin' God!
With Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin. Brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
We're here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
All right, welcome back into the Chase and Big Joe Show, live from Pete and Terry's Bridgestone Arena. The Nashville Predators take the ice tonight, take on Vancouver here at all. Right here on 102.5, the game starting at pregame at 6. Puck drops at 7. Let's go back to the phone line. Our special guest, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Ted's going to be in town this weekend at Music City Multicon down in Lebanon. It's a huge event. A lot of wrestlers, a lot of actors coming here. And one of the big ones is Ted DiBiase. Ted, when was the last time you were in Nashville?
Oh my gosh, it's been so long I can't even remember. I mean, it must have been, it was one of the times I either wrestled there or was, like after I stopped wrestling physically, I was a ringside manager for several guys. So that would have to be the last time I was there. But I was going to ask you guys. I mean, I was thinking about bringing my wife with me. Are there any great shows going on right now that I could take her to this weekend?
There might be. I haven't checked the schedule. Might be you've been to a hockey game? I think the Preds might play this weekend. We'll double check that for you. If you haven't been to a Preds game, it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, I haven't been. But I mean, the last time I played hockey, I was playing sandlot hockey right across the street from where I lived. And they would. I lived in Omaha, Nebraska, and every time they knew the first freeze was coming, they would flood this park and just make it. It was ice. So I mean, I stopped a hockey puck with my face.
Oh Lord!
Right between the eyes, and you can even see. You can see the scar across the top of my nose now. But anyway,
here's a funny story, Ted. A lot of people have moved to Nashville, and Nashville's come home for a lot of people. One of my dearest friends in the whole world is Reno Riggins, okay?
Okay.
Reno just sent me a note and says, at the end of one of y'all's matches, you would stuff a $100 bill in his mouth. Virgil, his bodyguard, would always ask for it back. One night, Reno says, I just swallowed it and told Virgil I'd give it to him later on.
Wow. Oh yeah, well, and that's what we did do. It's like that was kind of like, when I don't know if you guys remember Terry Funk, but he was one of the greats of all time, and he was the cowboy, and he would do this thing where obviously he wouldn't really brand them, but he would beat somebody and take a branding iron and just put the ink, whatever it was, on their leg or something, and so I said, well, man, I've got to have something. So I said, well, every time I win, then I'll just stuff a $100 bill in their mouth, and then of course I would start to go and I would say, Virgil, get the money.
Oh, that was great. What was, such a great career and everything that went on. What's the one moment that stands out more than any other one, Ted?
I wrestled, oh my gosh, I started in the summer of 75, and I physically wrestled, all the way to like 1992 or 3, I believe. And, back in those days, even when I when I went to work for Vince, we would wrestle. It finally got it down to, we would go out for 3 straight weeks, 21 days, 21 cities, and we'd go home for a week, and then we'd go out and do it again. Then they changed it to 10 days off, 10 days on, 3 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off. But anyway you looked at it, we were only off like 6 days a month. But to try and pick, one of them now, my first WrestleMania, I wrestled Macho Man Randy Savage in the main event at WrestleMania 4. And WrestleMania 4 was kind of like a tournament because in the storyline of wrestling, I had purchased Andre the Giant, and Andre the Giant beats Hogan for the belt on TV, and of course they said, well, that can't, and then Andre gives me the belt. And so they made a big fuss about that, and they said, well, they can't do that. You can't buy the championship. That was the whole thing, was I was going to prove that I could buy everything, including the world title. And so they hold it up, and they said, we're going to have a tournament to declare a new champion. And so that tournament was WrestleMania 4, and it ended up being Macho Man in the last match. And, of course, Macho Man beat me and became the next champion. And I turned Macho Man from a heel to a good guy overnight.
Wow, my goodness. Well done there, Ted. We're talking to Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, in town this weekend at the Music City Multicon at the Farm Bureau Expo Center down in Lebanon.
So, Ted, you had a neck injury in your career that kind of prohibited you from being in the ring, but you kind of transitioned over into a manager because you had excellent mic skills in your career. What was that like, kind of transitioning from being a wrestler in the ring to kind of managing and being more of the guy that is on the mic in that aspect of the business?
Well, of course, for anybody that's been a wrestler, and had the success that I had, moving from the ring to just talking, it's not like exactly what I would have preferred to do. The best of me I felt like when I was an in-ring character. But yeah, because I love the business, I said, yeah, whatever I can do to help. And so basically most of the time, the promotion was, I'm sitting outside and a helicopter is flying overhead.
Uh-oh.
They're looking for me.
Watch out.
Usually they would put a manager with somebody who had really good in-ring skills that wasn't necessarily great on the mic. And so that's pretty much how they utilized me. So.
Well, that's good. You're still beloved.
I did manage Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we found out he didn't need anybody to speak for him.
That is absolutely correct. Ted, it's a pleasure. Again, go see you at Music City Multicon this weekend, Farm Bureau Expo Center in Lebanon. And, Ted, it's been an honor, man. Thank you so much. Safe travels to Nashville, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, guys. And I might add the guys that are going to be with me, Mike Rotunda, Ron Simmons, Jimmy Hart, Scotty Steiner.
Love it. Love it. You guys are legends, Ted. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Ted DiBiase coming to town. You ever been to one of those comic multi-con things?
No, I've never been to one.
Those guys are they're so fantastic. They're so nice and so appreciative that, you know, they meant so much to us growing up and everything, and they're just wonderful people.
I probably need to go out there. I've heard good things about the Expo Center out there in Lebanon.
Who would you like to meet? Taylor Swift? Who's one person? You like Travis Kelce? Pete Weber?
The person that I would want to meet would not be liked around these parts very much. If I can meet one person, it'd be Hines Ward.
Hines Ward?
Hines Ward. That's my childhood idol. He's the reason I got into football in the first place. I'm always a big fan of Hines Ward.
Well done there. I'd like to meet Hal Gill one day. All right, we'll take a break. Coming up, Jonathan Hutton's going to join us. We'll get back into the Titans and trading Kevin Byard. Our question on the text line is, what one trade in sports just devastated you? A lot of reaction, and we'll talk to Jonathan Hutton. That's coming up next right here. This is Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, live and local from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you want the national
Hey. I got this. I'll take it from here.
Okay, go ahead. Dying to hear this.
We have the best national voices that you'll find anywhere.
Who was more deserving of being thrown from their game?
I'm odd, so I get the odd picks.
They have a new coaching staff.
It's not a bad scenario for them.
We are 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
And 94.9 The Fan.
When you own a business, it's like another member of your family. Its success takes time. It requires money, attention, and tools to help it grow. At F&M Bank, we'll treat your business like family, building trust and responding quickly when you need us. No matter your business goals, you can reach them easier when you have a banking relationship that supports you, tools to conveniently manage your money coming in and going out, and expertise to make your business better. Bank your business at F&M Bank. myfmbank.com. Banking made easy on purpose. Member FDIC.
Predators fans, Brewhouse South in Cool Springs, Brewhouse Highway 100 in Bellevue, and Brewhouse West on Charlotte Avenue is your home for hockey action all season long. They are Predators approved and all the games are on, and they'll even give you the sound. Get awesome game day drink specials on Blue Note Bourbon and Black Abbey Beer. When you think hockey, think Brewhouse South in Cool Springs, Brewhouse Highway 100 in Bellevue, or Brewhouse West on Charlotte Avenue. Go Preds!
Get ready to dig into the future of construction. Look no further than Parman Tractor and Equipment. They've got the power and precision you need with Link Belt excavators, where red means go. Whether you're looking to rent or buy, Link Belt excavators are known for reliability and performance. When you see that red and gray machine on the job site, you know it's time to get things done. Parman Tractor's team offers unparalleled service. Visit parmantractor.com and get in the dirt with employee owners of Parman, where red means go. Don't miss out on totally outrageous customer service.
There's lots to love from Apple right now at Verizon. Get the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and more to love from Apple on us with select phone trade-in and select unlimited plans. There's no better place to get what you love from Apple than at Verizon. And there's no better time than right now. All that with the network you can really rely on. It's your Verizon. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on select 5G unlimited plans required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply. One offer per eligible Verizon line. Additional terms apply.
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show, brought to you by Regal Realty Group.
Coach, didn't you say at the beginning of the season that we should be really fat? No, I said fast.
Oh, damn! On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Crane?
It's not that depressing.
That's the mood a lot of Titans fans are right now. Welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe Show, live this morning at Pete and Terry's at Bridgestone Arena. Predators take on Vancouver tonight. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drops at 7. Let's now bring in our good friend Jonathan Hutton today with reaction to Kevin Byard doing this. Jonathan getting traded. Jonathan, you know Kevin Byard. Were you shocked, not shocked, surprised, not surprised? Your reaction to all this?
I wasn't shocked. I mean, not surprised either, Joe. I just didn't know which way. It was just an answer to a question of which way the Titans were going to be leaning at the trade deadline. I think honestly, they wanted to trade him this offseason if they could have. I think the contract kept them from that. I'm told that Howie Roseman and the Eagles have long liked Kevin Byard. They liked him coming out of Middle Tennessee and would say as much to scouts within the organization from time to time at different events. So, I don't think it's a shock either that Roseman and the Eagles were interested. And, yeah, I mean, I think if they would have restructured the deal or taken a pay cut, rather, to remain a Titan this offseason, chances are a deal like this gets done in the offseason instead of at the deadline. But the restructure and what they did right before the season started allowed this deal to get done because monetarily it's most of that money was paid in a signing bonus, and the Eagles could tack that on to the roster and the cap that they had.
How does Mike Vrabel spin this as not giving up on the season?
Quite frankly, I think fans would see it that way if they don't trade any other pieces. And if they do, there's no way it's to spin it. It's the same. If Henry ends up getting traded, Joe, there's no other way to spin it than exactly that. It's the same obvious point to what we had last year when they fired John Robinson in December. Titans were done at that point. The players aren't dumb. They know what's going on. And there are a lot of players with expiring contracts that either were brought back with the sense of, okay, they just fired the general manager. There's a sign that a new one's coming in. There's going to be a rebuild. And then in the offseason, there wasn't one really. They drafted a backup quarterback and a backup running back, a starting offensive lineman who's good, and some pieces that hope to develop, but again, not immediate help. And then they signed DeAndre Hopkins late in the process, and it's like, okay, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Players see this. And the players will also take note of what happens between now and a week from today at the deadline, because we saw the signal last year in December. This would be a sign in October before Halloween or on Halloween at the deadline that they're looking towards next season before they get into month number 3 of the regular season. They're never going to say just total bottom out. They will not do that. That's not in Mike Vrabel's DNA. But Joe, I mean, they had to have draft pieces. They had 6 total picks before yesterday. 3 of those 6 were 7th round selections. And if you're looking at this roster, the one thing that is glaring, and it has been glaring for now going on 2 years, maybe 3, the lack of young talent as depth pieces. They are completely void of that in terms of depth, and especially when it comes to young pieces, affordable back-end roster pieces on the back end of the draft that still haven't panned out as pieces to this puzzle. They need a lot of everything, and you can't do that straight through free agency, even if they got a ton of money. And if Byard's not a part of this deal, part of the restructure of the roster after this year, you try to get what they did yesterday, which is a 5th and 6th round pick in exchange for what's been a solid piece to your organization and been the role model of what you want in every player you bring in.
We're talking to Jonathan Hutton from Outkick's Hot Mic with Hutton and Withrow. Jonathan, do you think that Kevin Byard was consulted about this trade? Do you think that he was working with Vrabel and Carthon on this? And do you think that he wanted this, or do you think that he would have rather stuck with being a Tennessee Titan for the long haul?
It's a great question. I don't know that answer. What do I think? I think Byard knew that he was a tradable asset whenever he signed that new deal. But whenever he signed it, he got $7 million right then and there on the signing line there. So I think he wanted to be here. I think, absolutely it was an insulting way to go about asking him to take a pay cut. But yeah, I mean, it's the business. Byard was a true pro in how he handled everything. He's no doubt he was pissed off about it, but he kind of shrugged it off and went about his season. But we didn't hear his name very much, quite frankly, this year. Sure, I don't. Here's the deal: consulted, no. Told about it ahead of time, sure, and through his agent that would have certainly been in talks with whatever team they're going to end up with as soon as it happened, or the fact that if Roseman, the way I'm told, Roseman's calling in the offseason about Byard, the agent certainly knows that too, and what would have been a slap in the face in the offseason, now he's got a chance to go win a title. That wasn't happening here.
So, Jonathan, with this big game coming up, the Titans are coming out of the bye week. They got Atlanta here at home. Ryan Tannehill likely not starting. What do they need to do in this game? And honestly, who do they need to start at quarterback to kind of get this team back on track? And do you think that really this game in particular against Atlanta is going to be the decision maker on whether or not the Titans are still necessarily in go-for-it mode, or that they're going to kind of wave the white flag after this matchup?
I think it certainly can be. I'll answer your first question or second question first. I think it certainly could be because, after this, you end up 2-5 with a situation where you're playing Pittsburgh after that. Look, Junie, I think in regards to the Atlanta game, it's a game they've got to win, but also a game that, the roster could look a lot different even before Sunday based on the way the trades have gone down. And look, you're making deals now. The deadline's the deadline. Teams are making acquisitions now, trying to pick up a piece and get things going by the time the deadline rolls around and you go into the week 9 week with your piece already there that you're trying to acquire. That would be my mindset as the general manager. As far as the Atlanta game being the end-all, be-all, the way I view the Titans is different than the way I view, for instance, and have viewed the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings got off to a terrible start, and now they're sitting in the 8th spot, the last team out in the NFC, in the NFL playoff picture. That team can be a playoff team. That team is built to make a run, actually have some consistency and couple together a few wins, stack some wins on their schedule, and be a playoff contender come December and be in the postseason. The Titans don't have the depth. They don't have the consistency, quite frankly. They're so inept offensively week to week. They don't have the offense to be that type of team. And defensively, they've given up explosive plays that don't allow you the opportunity to get the ball back if you're having a pretty good day moving the football between the 20s. Their problem is the red zone. Point being, I don't know if it's the end-all, be-all with what they want to be the rest of the season. They want to be in the playoffs. But the NFL changes drastically over 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, San Francisco is dominating the Dallas Cowboys, and 2 weeks later, they've lost 2 straight.
Right.
So can the Titans stack some wins now? Sure. Do they need Ryan Tannehill? Yes. Because here's what I know. They're not stacking wins with Malik Willis. And they know that. They have to know that. If Will Levis is not the quarterback, if Tannehill isn't the guy, that's a huge problem on what this staff has pointed to as the solution for what was a bad backup quarterback a year ago in Malik Willis. You can pin that on Robinson all you want to. This is on Vrabel. Vrabel made that call. Rand Carthon made that call. And they did the same thing that the Titans did a year ago with John Robinson as the general manager. They drafted a backup quarterback and a backup running back. We've got to see those guys. There's a reason, and I don't buy into it's a bad situation to put him in because he's going to get banged up and he's going to get knocked around. He's going to lose his confidence. No. I would lose my confidence if I can't beat out Malik Willis, who doesn't know to run out of bounds late in that game in London instead of trying to go for the pylon when it's a busted play, or not taking a sack in a crucial situation. That's where Levis can be better. And look, even if Tannehill goes, I would want to see Levis as the backup QB. I would elevate him that far.
We're talking to Jonathan Hutton. He's the host of Hot Mic with Hutton and Withrow. Jonathan, what do you make of the report today, allegedly, from Donna Rossini, where nobody wants Derrick Henry?
I mean, at the price tag, or look, teams are calling about Henry, but they want to know if it's going to be a fire sale or not. And here's the other thing, Joe. When I say no, when she says no one's interested in Henry, I mean, they'd be interested in Derrick Henry for, some type of conditional late round pick.
Sure.
But you also have to have some cap space in order to pull this off. That's number one. And number two, it's unrealistic to begin with that he was going to pull or draw some mid-range draft selection, day 2 draft selection, because of the value on running back right now. If you are a team that goes through the run or has a high-priced running back, you either have your guy or you have a backup right now that is producing at a level that you're comfortable with until you're getting your guy back. We saw that with Deontay Foreman in Chicago this past weekend. We saw that with Kareem Hunt in Cleveland this past weekend. There are guys that are available that teams have already put on their roster that are producing to a decent level for teams that believe they are playoff caliber worthy. But I would, if I'm, and I don't know the draft selections here for teams. If I'm Seattle, if I am Minnesota, Dallas, there are other examples to look at. I mean, I'm certainly picking up the phone and asking questions about what it would take, and I'm trying to figure out what money would be allocated towards staying here versus picking up. And right now it's $6.4 million remaining of the 11 that he had going into the season on a per game payment. So it's steep for a league that doesn't value running back, especially running backs over the age of 30.
Is Vrabel, in your opinion, starting to kind of get on the hot seat, Jonathan?
Not yet. Not at 2 and 4, Joe. But at this time last year, I would have said the same thing about John Robinson. And for the accolades and the bio of you've got the playoff, so many winning seasons, playoff appearances, AFC South championships. Vrabel's got that. I think, by the way, I think it would be a bad decision to fire it was a bad decision to fire John Robinson. Bad decision to fire Mike Vrabel. I'm not making the case here, but Robinson had the same type of bio. And Amy said that she had made up her mind in December. So yeah, if this turns, who knows based on what we saw happen last year and the timing of everything. But right now, no, I don't see a hot seat scenario. But can the seat get hot? Sure, because I think the signal was sent to everyone within the organization, including Mike Vrabel a year ago. Win more than what we have been winning. AFC South championships and then bowing out in the postseason just isn't good enough for ownership. That's what she said. So, okay, if that's the case, then who knows what she's thinking as things go south. And by the way, she would also speaking of being consulted, she would be consulted on these trades, and that could also be a reason why they're having a fire sale too. Let's not forget the other piece, which is ownership. For a coach that does not sign up to tank, period. He's not going into 2023 thinking about 2024. Vrabel is solely focused on the season that he's coaching, and make no mistake, Vrabel has the power in this structure right now. So he did in the offseason, and now he's got it here, at least for now. And this is also a sign of where do we see the pivot to where Carthon starts making his moves versus when Vrabel wouldn't be making those calls, making the decision of here's who I need, here's what we're doing, here's the plan versus here's the plan for next year. Again, Vrabel does not think that way. So I don't think he's wanting to push pieces aside thinking that that's going to improve the team that's already pretty bad.
Absolutely. We'll hear from Vrabel at 11 o'clock today. Jonathan, as always, man, we love your perspective. Thank you for everything. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, always enjoy this. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the show.
Jonathan Hutton, you can hear him with Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow, on 94.9 every weekday over there. All right, we'll take a break, come back. Your reactions to what's the one trade that's devastated you in professional sports that you still can't get over. And 11 o'clock, Mike Vrabel is going to talk to the media. We're going to scoot out a couple minutes early and let the talented midday crew come in and get you all set up for that. We're live this morning at Pete and Terry's. This is the Chase and Big Joe Show, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
One is a legendary NFL wide receiver.
I gotta be prepared. I have to be ready.
One is a legendary Nashville voice.
You don't have to rely on carrying the ball 250 to 300 times.
And the other has been a legendary trash talker on the playground since the 4th grade.
Nobody is a Pro Bowler on day one of rookie minicamp.
They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Get Black Friday deals earlier than ever at Electronic Express. Get the gifts you want and save up to 40% throughout the entire store. Beat the crowds and save on hundreds of 4K TVs, appliances, computers, and more. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing on items like an LG 75-inch 4K TV, now only $649, or a Samsung French door refrigerator, only $13.99. Black Friday deals are here at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
At Mercedes-Benz of Music City, a healthy and productive culture takes a day-to-day discipline. Here's Sam Cavett, General Manager, with a few thoughts.
Mercedes-Benz has its standard, and we have Dream Motor Group standards. They're definitely on the same level, but I feel like we challenge ourselves at least as much as Mercedes-Benz challenges us. It's a genuine motivation to take care of customers, and we see it in the customer reviews.
Live the dream at Mercedes-Benz of Music City, mbofmc.com.
Let's see. That one. Wait, I didn't see this one.
We apologize. When you have as many microbrews on tap as we do, we know it can be hard to make a decision. Don't worry, we're patient.
Wow, let me see here.
Bar lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Incredible apps and salads, delectable burgers and wraps featuring local Tennessee whiskey and local brews on tap and live music 7 days a week. The decision is obvious. Bar lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
This week's Nashville's Best Deal is from Nashville's largest axe-throwing venue, Bad Axe Throwing Nashville. Go to thegamenashville.com/deals to get a $50 gift card for $25. Aim for a great time while enjoying panoramic downtown views, live music, curated cocktails from the full bar, and a Northwoods-inspired menu with a Southern twist. Bad Axe Throwing Nashville welcomes axe throwers and non-axe throwers alike. Bad Axe Throwing Nashville, 648 Fogg Street.
Vanderbilt Commodore fans, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, along with 94.9 The Fan, is your new home for broadcast of games and the Commodore Hour on Monday evenings. Catch all the action for football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball all season long. Go Doors!
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, get a DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill kit. Was $159, now just $99. That's a savings of $60. And there's more. Earn 3 times the bonus points on Carhartt workwear. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. DeWalt offer valid 10/19 through 1/31. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 10/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Predators fans, Brewhouse South in Cool Springs, Brewhouse Highway 100 in Bellevue, and Brewhouse West on Charlotte Avenue is your home for hockey action all season long. They are Predators approved and all the games are on, and they'll even give you the sound. Get awesome game day drink specials on Blue Note Bourbon and Black Abbey Beer. When you think hockey, think Brewhouse South in Cool Springs, Brewhouse Highway 100 in Bellevue, or Brewhouse West on Charlotte Avenue. Go Preds!
Hey, if you missed our show, you can get it on demand. Just search for the Chase and Big Joe Show podcast on Apple, Spotify, or any podcast platform.
Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Welcome back into the Chase and Big Joe Show. Junior Riddle in for Chase McCabe here, live from Pete and Terry's at Bridgestone Arena as the Nashville Predators are set to face off the Vancouver Canucks tonight at 8:15 pregame beginning at 7. Our boy Frazier playing all the Kesha tunes is back at the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studio. Before we get back in today's topic, talking about Kevin Byard getting traded to the Philadelphia Eagles and other trades that have hurt you over the years, check out this week's Nashville's best deal from Bad Axe Throwing. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to get a $50 gift card for only $25. Bad Axe Throwing Nashville, Nashville's largest axe throwing venue, located downtown at 648 Fogg Street. So going back into the text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, got to bring up this text from Wes from Hermitage. He said, "Morning, fellas. Just figured I'd share this bit with you. Last night I purchased my first Eagles jersey in my life. Never thought I would do that. The back reads 00 for the number, and then the name is just a Titans fan. Fly, Titans, fly. Might as well root for them now, with considering it seems as if all the former Titans players are now moving on to the Eagles to compete for Super Bowls."
They are. Correction, tonight's Preds puck drop, thank you, Brandon from Spring Hill, is at 8:15 and not at 7 because I didn't read what was in front of me.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it typically is here, a 7 p.m. puck drop, but I think because, Vancouver's so West Coast, they're doing it a little bit later times for the fans out there.
Also have the Frozen Frenzy tonight. ESPN does their broadcast of just a lot of all the teams are playing tonight. So
right.
every puck drop is every 15 minutes, I think, starting at 5 all the way to 10 p.m.
Oh, very good. Our question today, Junie put it out there. What trade devastated you in sports? And mine was when Dale Murphy was traded from the Braves in 1990 to the Phillies, and then the Braves go to the World Series the next year. I was crushed because Murphy gave his heart and soul to the organization. And I understand Dave Justice got his chance to play and was an integral part of the Braves' resurgence winning the World Series in '95, man. But it devastated me when he was gone. So your reactions today have been fantastic with all this. Let's see what Tim has to say. Tim, on the text line, says, he goes back to the hockey. He says, "Thanks for having on Ted DiBiase. We love him. You must meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan." If you just missed that, we had the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, called in this morning. And it's funny. This is the great thing about live radio, my friends. We reached out to him, and it was never confirmed. And so Ted just called today and wanted to be on the radio. So you kind of roll with it. I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and we're trying to look at Dr. Crane back in the studio. And Dr. Crane is doing a great job of piloting the boat. So, Dr. Crane, kudos to you, man, for keeping it all going straight forward.
Yeah, we had Hal Gill, Ted DiBiase, and Jonathan Hutton back to back to back. Did not plan for that to be that way.
I'm wearing my life jacket, Joe. The boat's still afloat.
Allie in Bellevue says, "I'm here for the Kesha music today." Well done. Jenny, you going to the Kesha show tonight?
I am not. I actually got to engineer this Preds game this evening, so I will be here at Bridgestone Arena. You can stop by and see us at Barrel House. Max Hers for the pregame, postgame, and intermission reports. So
let me
I'll
see
be over
Max.
there. Also, JD on the text line says, "Kesha's going to be stuck in my head all day now. Thanks, guys."
Why like I felt?
The head in the face.
Yeah,
Hand
that
in
was
the face.
Fun fact about Kesha, her parents used to live in my neighborhood.
So that's crazy you brought that up. And again, keep the reaction going about Kevin Byard, but this is a funny story. At one time on the Billboard albums chart, 3 Middle Tennessee people because you had Kesha was number 3, Kings of Leon were number 2, and I think half of them are from Mount Juliet or something. I may be incorrect, but all right, I'm correct on that. All right, thank you very much. They went to Mount Juliet High School or homeschooled or something, and then Taylor Swift was number 1. So we had Hendersonville High School. We had Mount Juliet High School, maybe one with the Wilson Central, whatever. And then Dr. Crane, we had Kesha from Brentwood.
How about it?
I don't think he even graduated from there. The Rock went to McGavick, my high school. The Rock went to McGavick for 6 weeks. I claim him as an alumni.
That's
right?
fair enough.
Wouldn't you do that?
I claim Rajon Rondo from my high school, and he went there for 1 or 2 years for going to Oak Hill. Oak Hill, the big basketball powerhouse that sends you to every D1 program you want to go to. So.
Dr. Crane, you went to Father Ryan. Who we got? Who do you claim at Father Ryan?
This is a tough one. I mean, there are some names out there.
The Pope, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have the Pope. Right. Jawan Williams, a former football player for Father Ryan.
Yeah, where's he now?
He is with, I think he was with Minnesota going into the season. I'm not too sure where he's at now, but former Vandy cornerback there. Prince Charles Awara was a big track star at Father Ryan, set a few state titles, went to my grade school actually, and he got drafted by the 49ers back in the 2016 draft, I believe, 2013, in the 7th round, 6th round. I double-check all that. But, yes, from the wonderful Fighting Irish.
I'm looking up now that Father Ryan had Monroe Carroll Jr. went there. He's Lou Graham, who won the U.S. Open in 1975. Oh, John Siegenthaler Sr. and Jr. went there. Look, you got some great people there. Boots Donnelly, the former
Mr.
MTSU
Donnelly.
football coach.
I may have left out a few names. Brain's all scattered right now, okay, Joe? Just give me a little bit. Cut me a break.
Is it Ted DiBiase? Did he get you all scattered on that?
Maybe. I don't know. There's too many dollar bills flying in here right now.
Right. They came in there. Let's see. Timber, Ryan on the text line says, Timber from Kesher reminded me of a Peckham memory against the Habs when he knocked down one of the Hab players who ran into him. Nice. I don't remember that, but
I don't remember that either.
I miss Pecorine.
We do got Benjamin on the text line, though, talking about trade that hurt him. Apparently he's a Memphis Grizzlies fan, and he was sad when Mike Conley left. Do you know who Mike Conley is?
Yes.
Okay.
He signed that massive $50 million max contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that crew I'm thinking about, right, guy?
Yep.
Ohio State?
Was it Mike Conley, Ohio State?
Why'd your voice get so high?
I don't know.
Is that same voice I use? I'm unsure about something.
I'm not sure either.
But listen to Robbie and Rex Road, that great show this morning, and about 50% text line. We're happy Byard's gone. 50% understand it, And so, where do you fall in this?
I understand it, but for me, I just felt like this is not a good move to do in season. I think Byard is just too important to that locker room. Being in the locker room, I will say this about Kevin Byard, and I feel like I've got to put it out there. I started going and covering the Titans for their home games last year. Chase McKay gave me that opportunity, and I'm very grateful for it. But the first player that I ever talked to and felt comfortable talking to, because if you work in this business, you understand that that first time getting up and approaching players is difficult to do. And I just remember it being so easy to talk to Kevin, and he always gave you right answers. He was always positive. He was always trying to be that vocal leader in the locker room to motivate the guys and to really kind of be that second voice from what Mike Vrabel was trying to relay, and be the voice of the players that also energize the locker room as well. So I don't know. It's just, for me, I knew that they were shopping him this offseason. I felt like if you were going to do it either before the season started to where, it's not going to be a distraction and take away from what they got going on now, or do it at the end of this season when this core is done, and you've adjusted his contract to be able to cut him and not fulfill that final year and let him decide to go play where he wanted to. So for me, I don't think it made sense from a locker room standpoint to do it in the middle of the season right now at this crucial moment when this team is allegedly trying to get things turned around.
We opened a whole nother can of worms with who went to your high school that was famous. 9257 says I went to high school with Usher. We had PE together, and I would guard him in basketball. Nice. Thank you for that. All right, we'll take a break, come back to celebrity birthdays. We're going to cut out this show a little bit early and let the pros come in. Caroline D. Mason Willie, who'll get you set up for Mike Vrabel, who's going to talk at the top of the hour. And, boy, this will be must-listen radio today. Right, Jenny?
Yep, and before we go, join Jared Stillman, Chris Sanders, and Derek Mason at Teddy's Tavern, located across from the Bridgestone Arena Plaza this Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30. They'll break down the Titans' Week 8 matchup against the Falcons and give you the latest updates before the game. Our NFL pregame show is presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and The Beast Unleashed. Again, coming up next, we are going to play celebrity birthdays. Hopefully, I can finally get one over on Nick Frazier, but we'll wrap up the show coming up next here on the Chase and Big Joe Show on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
He breaks down every game.
The players are still going to be fine.
And knows the ins and outs of the two-tone blue.
They deal with their own position coaches.
He is ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter Teron Davenport.
It's clear what he's doing.
TD joins every Monday at 1, Thursdays at 3, Friday mornings at 8, and anytime on the Talkin' with TD podcast.
I think that's really cool how he could show both sides.
TD is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hi, this is Brad Hopkins, two-time Pro Bowler and former tackle of the Tennessee Titans. When I played, I worked hard to train my body, eat right, and practice to make sure I was prepared for game day. That's what vaccines and boosters do for your immune system, to keep you healthy, and why I chose to get vaccinated and boosted. Preparation keeps you game ready and reduces risk. Talk to your doctor. Make sure you're up to date on all your shots and get the information you need to make an informed choice. Gear up, Tennessee. Find a shot near you by visiting vaccines.gov today.
Jewelry business, it's in my blood. I've been doing it all my life, and it's my passion.
Meet Daniel Sabalas, a third-generation jeweler at Genesis Diamonds.
This line of work, it's all about honesty and trust. It's about building relationships.
And that's what drew Daniel to Genesis, where it's all about education, transparency, and respect for each customer.
It's based on a family business mentality, and that's how we are. We're here to educate, to guide you, and we make it very easy. So we really go out of our way to educate customers in the right way. There's no stress level, there's no tension. The customer can feel that.
All this while providing the guaranteed best value price.
I've never seen a company that has the best price like this that I've seen anywhere. We are a powerhouse of diamonds.
Genesis Diamonds. No commission salespeople, no pricing games, no risk, no pressure, no cutting corners.
Genesis Diamonds is going to give you the best price, best quality, guaranteed, no matter what.
Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
Just a minute, don't hang up. Hey, we want to hear from all of you. Give us a call or text at 615-737-1025.
Hello. You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Our phone line driven by Wilson County Hyundai.
Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Yeah. Get it, Dr. Crane. Welcome back here to the Chase and Big Joe show. The Riddler filling in for the Big Boss Man, who'll be back Thursday. Continue reaction coming in about the Kevin Byard trade. Again, Mike Vrabel is going to speak at the top of the hour. We're going to get out here a few minutes early and let the A-team of Caroline, D. Mason, Willie get in here and get you all set up for Mike Vrabel. And, Jeannie, that might be the most anticipated press conference of a Titans head coach in years.
Yeah, no, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of controversy since Vrabel has taken over. They've done a lot of winning outside of, the tail end of last season. And so it's going to be really interesting to get his perspective on, his trip up to New England, the Kevin Byard trade, the direction of the team, who's going to be starting at quarterback this week, the trade deadline, if there's going to be any more moves. I mean, there's going to be a ton of really big-time questions that are going to be answered in today's press conference. So it's going to be one that you're going to want to tune into, and we're going to be airing it right here on these airwaves.
I just want to know, how do you tell the fans you haven't given up on the season? I want to see how he spins that. All right, Dr. Crane, you ready?
Let's do this thing.
All right, time for celebrity birthdays today. America's favorite game, and it's a lot of fun. Even Jonathan Hutton says it's his favorite game he's ever played. All right, today's birthday. You guys ready? Here we go. First birthday up is the famed actor F. Murray Abraham. How old is F. Murray Abraham? He was great in Homeland. He's been in a ton of movies. I think he was in Amadeus back in the day. How old is he?
I'm going to go 72.
67.
84. Good job, guys. Actor Kevin Kline. He's married to Phoebe Cates. He won an Oscar for A Fish Called Wanda. How old's Kevin Kline?
Kevin Kline is 66.
Ooh, this is tough. We're going to go 63.
He's 76. And by the way, if you've never seen the movie Dave with Kevin Kline, it is a fantastic and wonderful movie. So see the movie Dave. Here we go. Let me see who else we get down here. You guys. Drake. All right. How old's Drake?
Ooh, I should get this one. I'm going to say he's 36.
He's got to be in his 30s. Let's go 34.
He's 37.
Ooh. I got
Junie got it. Good job, Junie. Well done. Well done. Junie, don't go anywhere. Let's see what else we got here. Sorry. Former Rolling Stones bass player Bill Wyman. And I'm actually shocked that he's still alive.
Oh, well, that's a good hint. I'm going to go high then. Is it because of the drugs or is it because he's an old guy? I don't know. It could
A
be
little
either or.
both.
I'm going to say 71.
76.
He is 87. You guys are terrible today.
It was the old age.
Well, off by 10 again, Joe. All of them just off by 10.
Yeah, and crease that up. Today's a terrible day for Bert. Tomorrow. Oh, by the way, former 102.5 program director Ryan Porth's birthday is today.
Oh,
how old's Ryan Porth? I don't know.
Old enough to be a father.
Yeah, he is old enough to be a father. Actor Doug Davidson from The Young and the Restless. Very debonair and handsome gentleman.
I'm gonna say 59.
That's what I was gonna say. Oh man, I'm gonna stay in the 60s. 64.
All right, Dr. Crane, you just told me that you want to go 10 years more. You should have gone 10 years more because Doug Davidson's 69.
I was 5 years off. I said 64.
I said 59.
All right, singer Monica, and this is it because the birthdays today aren't really good. So this will be it for today. But we got to get out here anyway.
Monica, what is Monica from?
Monica sings a song.
Oh,
songs.
That doesn't help. Is
Right?
this from your generation?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I've never heard of Monica either.
I'm just gonna guess she's older. Let me say 78.
Yikes. This is tough. I mean, if Joe doesn't know and we don't know, either very, very old or fairly young.
Okay.
I'm going to just take a wild card shot. 37.
She's 43.
Oh.
And we're done. Junie, you win 1-0.
Fair
That's
enough.
why I love this game because people are like, I don't want to do it. Then you start playing, you get into it, and it's like, then you start going through your mind of how old somebody is. That's why it's a lot of fun there. So, Junie, congratulations on the big win today. Proud
I
of you.
did because I'm a big Drake fan. So.
You are a big Drake
That's
fan.
the only reason I won today. So finally, victory on the board.
Yeah.
I can soak this one in till tomorrow.
You,
So.
you Greg Maddoxed Dr. Crane. You know what that means?
No, I don't.
You finessed him. You win 1-0.
Finessed
You weren't
me.
fancy. You weren't beautiful.
Shut him
you
out,
weren't
though.
pretty. You shut him out and got the job done.
It's a dirty win. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll take
Dirty
it.
win.
Anyway, you can get it.
It's how it got in there, so I'm so proud of you for all that. Again, keep the text coming about the what trade devastated you. By the way, the Usher guy that word in about who went to high school, somebody famous. Usher's from Chattanooga.
Is
I didn't
he
know that.
really?
From Hickson, Tennessee. Had no idea Usher was from there.
Wow.
You know Samuel L. Jackson's from Chattanooga.
Is he really?
Yep. You know what he's famous for? Can't say it on air. Can't say his words on air.
The F word.
Snakes on a plane, right, Dr. Crane?
That's right.
Yeah, we can't do all that stuff. So that's crazy. So people who didn't know, and Tennessee's got some great people, man, from the state. You people from the Commonwealth need to realize how great the state of Tennessee is.
Tennessee is a great
Stop
state.
moving here.
But we got some great guys too. George Clooney's from Kentucky. Johnny Depp is from Kentucky.
So is Dwight Yoakam, who you don't know.
You're right. I don't know who Dwight Yoakam.
Johnny, he was from. Where was Johnny Depp from?
Owensboro.
Owensboro, right.
We also have the Louisville Lip, Muhammad Ali.
True.
One of the most famous. I still will never forget the day he passed away. And they did a funeral drive around the entire city.
Yeah,
And
I remember that, yeah.
People were going nuts for it.
I'll still take, in my state, I'll take Dolly Parton, Pat Summitt, Wilma Rudolph, Minnie Pearl over anybody you throw at me.
Yeah, we can't beat that. We got Muhammad Ali, a few actors here. and
Muhammad's
there.
up there.
And that's it.
Although Clooney's a little bit more Cincinnati-ish, isn't he? Or does he claim Kentucky his home?
I think Clooney is definitely Kentucky.
Like Covington, is that across the river from Cincinnati?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
When I played lacrosse games up in Covington, so up there a couple times. I didn't know he was from
I
that
thought you were saying you played lacrosse with Clooney. Nobody cares you played lacrosse.
No, I'm just saying that I've been up to Covington area. Either way, but we are heading out a couple minutes soon. Wes from Clarksville on here says Vrabel's going to play a void. I bet he will give very vague answers. That's a not so hot take there by Wes from Clarksville.
It is. All right, we're going to get out a couple minutes early. We'll set the table for our great A team coming in with Caroline, D. Mason, Willie. Get you set up for Mike Vrabel. Expected to talk at 11 o'clock. Keep it right here on 102.5 The Game, 106.3 The Game. They'll have everything for you. Jenny, love you. I'll see you tomorrow. And by the way, folks, remember, to our guys out there, we love you. If you're struggling, need to talk to somebody, please reach out and talk to somebody. You can talk to us. You know where to find us on socials. Our world's a better place because you're here. A lot of people are going through some tough times right now, but know that we love you and need you here, and we're always here for you. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.